All right. So I didn't want to like record any of you guys and have you guys be upset with me. I did write a few things down. I don't have any slides. I just kind of wanted to let you guys know my background a little bit, just so you kind of know where I'm coming from. I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach, and then amongst other titles is like precision nutrition coach, and then USA weightlifting sports performance coach. So all of this stuff that I tell you guys is going to be kind of like in that realm, and just some like basic exercises that I practice, because I do have like PTSD and I struggle with like anxiety and some depression type stuff. And so like all this stuff I tell you guys today, it's not going to be like a substitute for any kind of like health professional or any kind of stuff like that, but all of it is like tools to put together to use. So if you guys see me like splotch or stammer or freeze, I probably won't do any of those things, but that's just part of like my own like stress response to being like in front of people and talking. So one of the first things I wanted to share with you guys is just how related the body is to the mind. So like my main deal with stress and our deal with stress is when we become stressed, we start to go into like the fetal position. So the first thing mainly is the stretching and like opening up. So anytime we're stressed, we're going to carry a lot of that like in our chest. And that might be part of like the voice stammering thing or not being able to breathe because everything just like constricts. So with that, like I thought I could show you kind of just some exercises, and that'll help me like not be stressed out while I'm talking to you, and then finish up. But like, so if you were in a bout of like acute anxiety, it's going to be sitting right here. One of the main things you could do is just like hum really low. So let's say you have a stressful day or you're just in a moment, you could just be like, You guys can try. And you can change it up. You can be like, So we're bringing all the energy like down into like our feet. So then, no, you guys are good. So I already feel a little bit better just with that. So another thing you guys can do to ground yourself is to like stomp your feet. Okay? So like before I walked in here today, and then like even right now, like that helps like ground you and get all the energy from like up here to like down in your feet. So another thing you can do is like jump and land, jump and land. So you can be like, Okay, so you're just like shaking it all up, all right? So if you do carry, like, if you're a pretty athletic person and you carry a lot of tension and you do workouts that are like really hardcore and you're just like amped and ready to go, and you start feeling that or whatever, like I wouldn't necessarily advise this for people that like have neck problems or anything like that, but you can kind of do the whole thing. Like you can, and you can go hide somewhere, like, and just go nuts with it, like for 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, I've done it in the bathroom before. I've shut the door, and you just, okay? Because when you start to get stressed, all of your muscles are just gonna seize. So, like if you do have like a mental health issue or even just like fight or flight response is normal in a lot of people. There's fight, there's flight, but then there's freeze. So if you've ever in the past been in a situation where you couldn't fight and you couldn't flight and you had to freeze, then you might be a person that really stores a lot of tension like throughout the day, and then this might be a good way just kind of physically break it up. So like it's not necessarily possible, like when you're in the zone with your thoughts, like if you're kind of like spinning and you almost can't even catch your thoughts, or if you're like really sad or something like that, it's kind of hard to fight your thoughts with thoughts. So the idea with doing something physical is to change the way the body feels so that it switches your brain to something else, okay? And you guys will have all of that on video if you want at the end. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys too is that if something is going on like in your life and you're sad and you're walking around with it and you haven't cried, like that same idea, like you can hold all of that through your chest and in your body. So it might be like, I don't know, like you don't want to be like trapped in crying or like things like that for days and days, but it might be better to just let yourself do it and let yourself just fully do it. So like cry, sob, like as loud as you want. Or if like you're really angry and you want to punch someone's face and you can't really punch someone's face, like, and you feel like yelling and you're holding that, especially for a few days, like just go ahead and like do all of that. Like one of my mentors, one of my coaches, he'll do the whole like jump up and down thing. He's like a really big guy, and he'll just like move his hands, like he'll just go front and back, and he'll just be like going at it, and he'll just yell. He'll just be like, get off my back, get off my back, get off my back, and just like get all of that out of there. Because once you let yourself just go there, then sometimes that can get you out of whatever you might be in, okay? If you're not quite like that aggressive, like singing or laughing. So put on your favorite music and then just like belting it out. What'd you say?
How about cussing?
Well, I was gonna say, like when he's yelling, get off my back, it's get off my back, get off my back, F you, F you. So I end up hanging around with like a lot of big guys that like to lift. So a lot of times like, I tend to be a little bit more aggressive in nature, but not all the time. So I definitely have my moments not aggressive. Okay, so crying, yelling, all that stuff. So that's kind of like in the acute bouts, or just when you're carrying it and you can just feel it, especially in your chest, okay? So another thing we talked about, like I talked about the fetal position. After you do whatever it is you do, you sing, you yell, you cry, yell, F you, get off my back, whatever it is, what would be nice to chase that with is like a chest stretch. So you're trying to get out of the fetal position, and it doesn't have to be like up in the air like this. It could just be down, and you just want to hang and just let it be. So you're trying to stretch not just your chest, but you got sternocleidomastoids here. Like if you carry a lot of tension in your neck or in your traps, it's very possible, especially since we look at our phones so much, but it's very possible that these muscles have shortened and they're pulling on your neck, on your traps, all that stuff, okay? So there's some resources that I'm going to give you guys access to if you're interested, and it has videos of like 3 or 4 different ways to do this, like over a ball, over a chair, on a pillow. So this exercise, and then it's also chased with like being able to relax your neck. So sometimes even just hanging over the side of the chair and just letting your neck like be there and just hang, okay? So all that stuff, if that sounds cool to you guys, you'll have access to it if you want to look it up on like a playlist, okay? All right, so I was hoping you guys would be cool to like try something out. Of course, you don't all have to try. But again, since I'm kind of all about like using the physical body to break up the stress, I wanted to kind of just go head to toe on just like really easy, something that you could do if you're just feeling overall crappy, overall stressed. So I was going to start with like your face.
Do you need to stand?
Don't need to stand, you can just chill. We might stand later, but for right now, just chill. Okay, so I especially, like, I don't know if you guys can see my crease right here. Like, when I'm thinking or I'm doing anything, right, my face is like this. Or when I'm typing, like, sometimes people think that they can't come talk to me because I'm just like here, just right here. So depending on where you are in the day, I don't know if you carry a lot of tension here or if you even have any tension here right now. But the easiest thing to do, we're going to start with the head, is just like go ahead and if you want to, put your hand, like press it on your forehead lightly. This is all lightly. Don't hurt yourself. And then just like do like 5 circles one way. Try to relax your face. And then 5 circles the other way. Okay? So that might help break up some tension here. Another place you can hold tension is all through the eyes. Okay? So again, don't mash your eyeballs, but like if you put your palms on your eyes and then with your palms on your eyes lightly, like you move your eyes back and forth and up and down. Don't make yourself too dizzy, but just a little bit. Then that can help the eyes to relax. Okay? So we relaxed our forehead, relaxed the eyes. What might also feel good is like the temples. Okay? So if you want to do like 5, just kind of slow there. And then you can do 5 kind of slow back. Okay? Another place would be like the jawline, anywhere you really want to. But just like releasing the jaw. Or you can either press down your jaw and back up again, or you can do those same little circles. Okay? So then we're just going to move down to the neck. So I don't know if you guys can feel these little sternocleidomastoids here. They're called that because they're attached to your sternum and your mastoid process, but you can just kind of grab them. That might feel kind of nice. They're like little bands. They're responsible for turning your head side to side and then also flexion. Okay? And then, so now that you've kind of squished them and got them a little bit loose, you don't even have to like force your head, but you might just tilt your head to one side. If you want to lightly apply pressure, you can. But then the key is actually shooting your arm down towards the floor. If you shoot your arm down towards the floor, hopefully you'll feel it like through this whole area here and into your traps. And then we can go ahead and switch sides. And then shoot your hand down towards the floor. Okay. All right, so we've done the face, we've done the neck. If you're anything like me, you're like ready for action all the time, and you might find yourself walking around with your traps engaged constantly. So I don't know if you guys are engaging your traps right now, but they're like right here, these guys. So what you might do is just like do 3 tugs down, like 1, 2, 3, like just wake them up so that they chill. 1, 2, 3, they might feel really tight. And then let's just like shoot them down towards the floor. Like, I mean, I know you're gonna feel kind of weird, but like just really shoot it. If you want to stand, you can stand, but you might be able to get it in your chair. Yeah, if you feel like wiggling, you can wiggle. Okay, so we just want to get some motion here because we're stiff, we're stressed, right? So like let's curl our shoulders towards each other, like curl them forward, curl them back. So curl them forward, curl them back. If anything pops, I'm sorry. Hopefully it feels good. Calm it down a little bit. Awesome. All right, we've got the face, we've got the shoulders. Your torso is the next thing. So the easiest thing to do would be to just turn in your chair and maybe grab it slightly. Like hold a 1 1000, 2 1000. Maybe switch. 1 1000, 2 1000. If it doesn't hurt your back, if you feel any weirdness in the spine, then don't twist as far. And you can twist back maybe like 1 more time each side. Alright, so before you stand, because you could stand, let me show you first. I don't know if you can even see me. Alright, so you've been sitting, I don't know how long you've been sitting, and when you sit, your hip flexors that lift your legs up, they get shortened, okay? And then they pull on your spine, because your hip flexors are attached not just to your legs, but they're attached into your spine. So a lot of the reason we have low back pain is because we're either like sitting too much in that like shortened position and our hip flexors are tugging on there, or possibly we've been doing like a lot of leg raises or like crazy stuff for abs or something. But either way, the stretch for this would be to just put one leg back, and then with the leg that's back, you're going to raise your arm up, okay? And then you're going to switch. So anybody that wants to try it can stand up and try it, and I'll walk around. You can wave at me if you're not doing it right. All right. All right, so we've done the head, we've done the neck, we've done the shoulders, we did the torso, we stretched the front hip flexors. What might feel good also is, and while you're seated, is just, let's do like 5 on each leg. Just straighten all the way out with your leg, and then fold it back. And straighten all the way out with your leg, fold it back. And once you've done about 3 to 5, you can switch. And we got one more thing. So I don't know how many of you are wearing tennis shoes, but if you're wearing tennis shoes, it'll be a little easier. I'd like you to do some ankle circles, but then after you do like 3 to 5 ankle circles, I'd like you to try to imagine shooting your toes out as wide as possible, and then curling them back, and then just stretching out your foot, just reaching your toes out as far as possible. Okay? If you have tight shoes on, you can just try the ankle circles. All right. How you guys doing? Everybody good? Okay. Well, I'm feeling better anyway. All right. So the next thing I wanted to see is there anybody that kind of practices any form of meditation by any chance? Any meditators? Regular? Me? You? Got a couple? Okay. So when we say the word like meditating, it might feel like a heavy word or like something weird. And I was a little bit that way too. So the way that I wanted to share with you the way I made it to meditating, because it's relatively new for me. But then also just kind of let you know that there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Okay? And I actually use an app on my phone. Like I do better if I'm listening to a guided one that way. Like I don't do as well if it's completely silent and I'm just supposed to be like with myself. It's a little easier for me to go with the cues. So there's all kind of different tools you can use too. But the idea with meditating is that the more you practice having space between your thoughts, then the more overall like reduced stress that you can start to have. Because most of us, like when we're stressed, we're going to do like one of two things. Either it's a lot is like thoughts and feelings, right? So our thoughts might race, and we might just be like, there's a million things going on, and we feel like maybe we're in a tornado. So a lot of people I hear will say, it just feels like there's a tornado, and I'm getting spun around in it, and I'm getting hit all over the place. So the idea is that there could be like a lot of stuff going on in your life, but what if there was all that stuff going on in your life, and it was all still going as fast as it's normally going, but like you felt like you had yourself and your own mind like under control, and that you had some tools to kind of deal with that. And then on the other end of the spectrum is maybe nothing is spinning here, but you just kind of feel like you're buried, or like you're sinking, or like maybe you're in water and you're just like treading water and like trying to keep going. Okay? So those are two extremes. The idea would be to, if you find yourself into those extremes, to be able to get yourself back like into the middle, okay? So the more that you can take time for yourself, whether it's like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the more your brain learns the pathways to be able to control the thoughts. So the easiest thing to do is to not to try to combat thoughts with thoughts or feelings with thoughts and like try to think yourself back into feeling good, but to actually just when you breathe, the easiest form of meditation is just to feel the air coming in and out of your nostrils when you're breathing. So like, let's just maybe all take 3 deep breaths and then just like actually feel the air when you do it. So breathe in through the nose and then breathe out through the nose and then in through the nose and then out through the nose. So you're not going to be able to think thoughts about whatever it is in your day while you're focusing on the air coming in and out of your nostrils, okay? So I did want to go ahead and give us a chance to do 10 breaths and then do 10 breaths again and then do 10 breaths again, because that's like the easiest, quickest way to kind of come back to yourself. And all we're going to do is just focus on the air coming in and out of your nostrils. You don't have to close your eyes, but if you'd like to go ahead and close your eyes, I'll invite you to close your eyes. And then as your eyes are closed, if you can remember to relax your face. So your eyes are closed if you'd like them to be closed. Relax your face. Drop your traps. Drop those neck muscles. Okay? And just take a couple normal breaths. But then I want to invite you, and I'm going to let you do it at your own pace, to take the deep breath in. Try to do it from your belly. Feel your belly going in and out. And feel that air coming in and out of your nostrils. So go ahead and let's do 10. I'm going to let you do them, and I'm going to be quiet. If you find your thoughts coming in, don't judge it, but go ahead and let them leave. And then bring your thoughts back to the air coming in and out of your nostrils. And I'm going to let you guys keep going. If after 10 breaths you need to kind of breathe normally and take a break for a second, that's totally fine. And again, any thoughts about the day, that's completely normal to be thinking during the silence. So try not to judge them, but try to let them go. And just come back to the air coming in and out of your nostrils. And then I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds. And I'm not going to say anything. Okay, if you guys had your eyes closed, you can open your eyes. Okay? All right, so does anybody want to give me any feedback? You don't have to talk all at once, but any thoughts? Good. So those are the easiest things to kind of break up that tension, and that took a relatively short amount of time. So that's one other thing I wanted to draw your attention to, is that it doesn't take a lot of time to come back to yourself. So if you want to start meditating or you want to start practicing some of these techniques, You don't have to feel like you have to set aside like 30 whole minutes for it. You could set aside 3 minutes for it or 5 minutes for it. You could probably run through all of the relaxation stretches, exercises, run through the breathing, and then be back on your day. Okay? Question?
Quick question.
Yeah.
So I've always been told to go in through the nose, out through the mouth. What's your thoughts on that? Versus
And I'm not at all an expert. So like I kind of just go by like what the teachers I have. So if you want to go out through the mouth, that's fine too.
Okay.
Especially if it's like allergy season and you feel stuffy. The main thing is to think. The main thing is not to be stuck in your thoughts, but to just come down to the present moment. Okay? And I have had other teachers tell me to breathe out through the mouth too. My most recent one is like in through the nose and out through the nose. I think it just might slow down your breathing a little bit, is the idea. So, I know you guys have been doing a lot of talking today about just like healthy lifestyle in general. What I wanted to ask you guys to think about is maybe some of the excuses that you give for not doing what it is that you think that you need to do. So if anyone wants to like yell some out, you can. Or, I mean, I can think of some.
Don't have time.
Yes, that was the one I wanted you to say.
Tired.
No, doesn't have time. Tired.
Small children.
Small children. Boom.
Injuries.
Injuries. Yes. Okay. So I have a quote that's like on my website. I made it up. I don't know how spectacular it is. But I put it everywhere. And I know the nature of your guys' jobs is to take care of people. So it's similar to like mine, I feel like, is to take care of people and to teach people how to be their strongest self. Okay? So my quote that I have is that your own health and well-being is more valuable than your paycheck and should come before your relationship with others. There's no amount of money worth more than your life, and there's no greater gift to others than the strongest version of you. Okay? So I assume you guys are all giving people, and I just want to, you already probably know, but I want to draw your attention to the fact that the more you give to yourself, the more you fill yourself up, the more you're going to be able to give to others. Okay? So we have people in our life that need our time. They need our attention. Like I have a 5-year-old. He's going to be 6 actually. I'm a single mom of a 5-year-old. And he has his dad and his family, so I have my own time. But there's things that are challenging about that situation. But then also there are things challenging when you have 3 or 4 kids, which I don't have. Okay? To give you an example of like my day, like I wake up at 4 a.m. I don't have to be at work until 7:45, but I wake up at 4 a.m. Like with the issues that I have with stress and anxiety and all that stuff, and with the expectations that I'm to show up to work and be like smiley and ready to go and motivating, I need 2 hours before my child wakes up to get into myself. Okay? Now, I understand that sounds a little bit ridiculous to most people, but I'm not an early riser at all. Like I would stay up until 2:30 in the morning if given the opportunity and sleep all the way in, but that's just not how my life is. Okay? I manage a fitness center, so like my main deal through the day is I work for a condominium and they have me on salary to be their fitness director, and then I design programs for the residents. Okay, so from 7:45 to 2:45 I'm at work. And then after I get off of work, I either go to the gym for myself or I go to work on like my business stuff. So not only do I have the 35 hours a week that I'm actually managing a fitness center and creating and designing programs, but then I'm trying to launch this thing called MAI TRAINER. Okay? And then I'm a mom. So Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, I actually train after I get off of work at the gym, and then on Saturdays I train. So my idea is not to tell you guys to like have less stuff in your life, because that's not possible, it might not be the answer, but it's just to take that time and to take however much of it that you need, okay? Because you can't make more time, but you can take it, and you can take it for yourself, okay? Take time like the gift it is, rather than have it taken from you, okay? So I wake up at 4, get my coffee, I use my phone, the Insight Timer app, I pick out a meditation, I do that for at least 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, depending, okay? By 5 o'clock, I journal, and then by 5:30, I'm getting like ready to go to work for myself. I kind of play some music. 6 o'clock, my kid wakes up. 7 o'clock, we're at the school, we're dropping him off. 7:45, the day starts. Like if I didn't have those 2 hours, I wouldn't be the same person. And I'm not the same person. Like if I wake up late or something happens. So the incentive for me to get up is for me to give that time to myself, to get where I need to be, to make the rest of the day flow, okay? And I feel like it flows if I am ready. And the way I get ready is to get quiet, breathe through my nose, relax everything, and then to kind of go from there, okay? So I had, let's see, what time is it?
Yes, go ahead.
Time.
Right.
So there's just a short list of things that, if I could tell you all the things, I would tell you all the things in a short list. I'd like you to sleep for 6 to 8 hours, okay? Your brain needs it. I'd like you to meditate. I don't care whether it's an app or if it's like walking or Tai Chi or yoga or whatever it is, or just breathing like we did. If you have a faith, practice the faith or practice gratitude. Okay, these are all things to help your stress. Sleep, meditate, give gratitude for the things that you have, / practice your faith. Journal. Allow the actual amount of time it's going to take for something. And schedule what you want in your life first before everything else. Set boundaries for all of the people in your life. Okay? If you set the boundaries and you have that difficult moment with them, overall, it will be better. Eat real, whole foods. I love, amen, all of the healthy food talk. Okay? Exercise in the way that you enjoy. The best exercise is the one that you'll actually do. Okay? On a regular basis. Stretch. And just for a public service announcement, lack of sleep, alcohol or drugs combined with caffeine can trigger psychosis. So if you're not sleeping and you're drinking a whole bottle of wine at night because your day is hard, and then you're waking up the next morning and down in a tank of coffee, that's a recipe for some not good mental, okay? Like you're doing it to yourself, all right? I could go forever, but the last thing I wanted to tell you is that I have several PDFs, like a meditation guide, a stress management guide, links to some videos for stress management and also for recovery stretching. So if you are at all interested in having that stuff, it's on the main page of my website. I put it up there today. So if you go to MAI TRAINER, MAI trainer.com, you can pull it up in your phone right now if you want to. It'll pop right up. So it's MAI TRAINER. And then there's going to be a blue button that says, send me the stress management resources. You'll put your email address in there and then you'll have everything. And then I'll also send you this video if you want this. It'll be a couple days for editing. Cool? All right.